Imagine photographing Giorgio Armani at the height of his powers and the images never getting published, just remaining on a hard drive until today.
So Giorgio Armani, we're talking about him today.
The great man who
Great man.
passed.
Icon.
An icon, definitely.
Fashion icon for sure.
Yeah, an enigma.
Yeah? Is that what you found when you met him?
Yeah, I mean, I can't claim to have any insight into what he's really like. I've no idea whether he's a man who likes dating men or women or what he thinks about the world or anything. It was sort of, but as an object, as a kind of leathery, cigar-coloured, handsome man, he's just an icon. Obviously, was really pleased to get the opportunity to shoot him because he's a huge presence, a huge figure in the kind of landscape of fashion. And that world is not something that I particularly like that much, you know, in terms of how it puts pressure on women to be really skinny and all this. And really, it's based on the premise that the way you look is the most important thing about a person, which I find a really obnoxious.
That's true.
Concept.
I think it's got better, I would say.
Yeah, well, the big but is that, you know, he obviously was a visionary and, you know, had a huge role in actually portraying a sort of powerful idea of femininity and masculinity in a really positive way. So they were all those broad shoulders, but soft.
Yeah, like women's blazers.
Yeah. American Gigolo, or a lot of the suits apparently in Casino, or maybe it was Goodfellas, all designed by Armani.
Yeah, very sharp.
Very sharp, very cool.
So an enigma, you didn't know anything about him when you met him?
I knew about an Armani because your mother and I, we had a family holiday. You were there. You were probably too young to remember, in Lake Como. And on one day, we were told about this Armani factory shop.
Okay.
And we went there and there was all this stuff. And I got this outrageous jacket. I must have a picture of me wearing it somewhere. But it was not something. I mean, I'm a charity shop guy. You know, I dress sort of kind of modestly. I like to get below the radar.
I don't know if that's true. I think there's proof in our previous videos of your garish
yeah. I mean,
jacket.
When I was younger and more confident, more of a strutting young buck, you know, I was open to kind of expressing myself like a peacock and
attracting attention.
And that's what Armani, this stuff, it was sort of, but it was very low key and elegant.
Yeah, for sure. But I'd say you're saying you're not into the fashion world, or you were previously. I still think you are now. You're a big fan of You Must Create. Shout out to Annie, your friend.
I do like You Must Create. That's my label of choice.
Yeah,
Annie, one of my assistants, is sort of heavily working in fashion and does Burberry videos and stuff.
She's influenced your fashion sense a lot.
She's my personal stylist, definitely. But I do think for me, the people that are interesting are not necessarily the people that just dress in black and are in the front row of the runway kind of London Fashion Week. The people that are interesting are Rossing Dean Bazaar, you know, who she works with, who are genuinely out there and dress in a radical way and kind of are ahead of the curve and can actually be regarded as kind of easily kind of ridiculed because they're taking risks. And I did that a little bit, you know, so, you know, I would buy clothes like that. But enough about my sartorial elegance.
Okay.
I think it's just an opportunity to express yourself, and you don't need to sort of buy into the fashion industrial complex to do that. I think you can do that from getting clothes from car boot sales or making your own clothes.
Someone commented asking about your glasses recently.
Exactly.
You got those from a car boot, didn't you? Or?
Well, I do like Cutler and Gross. We're going to do a video about Bill Nighy because we have the same glasses, vintage Cutler and Gross. But I got mine. He probably bought his brand new from the Cutler and Gross shop in Knightsbridge, whereas I got mine on eBay, and these came from eBay. These are another model, a different model glasses. But I do like fashion. I mean, you know, it in a sort of playful way, but I would never take it seriously.
Okay, so anyway, back to the great man Giorgio.
So this
unknowable.
Yeah, I mean, this story is not about a picture that gives a searing insight into the personality of the man or anything. This is about the surface, and also about, in a way, like Giorgio Armani, or like any kind of person that is creative. Alexander McQueen might be a very better example. It's about trusting your instincts. And so I arrived at this hotel. As I was going into the hotel, I saw this wall, and the wall was extraordinary. And I knew it was going to be difficult to incorporate this wall. Oh, it's my, it's little Lyra. Shall I get rid of her? We better get rid of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cat
Lyra.
break.
Lyra. Come on. There she goes. No, maybe not. Lyra, come on. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for your contribution. Right. Where were we? It was explained to me by the Sunday Times that there was absolutely no way that I could shoot it in any place other than this horrible windowless basement. It was a bit like the Brian Wilson situation in this hotel in Victoria called the Halcyon. I think it was called the Halcyon.
Yeah.
And so as I walked in and saw this wall, and it had this sort of textural kind of quality to it, it looked like it had been made of kind of pieces of slate. It was extraordinary. I thought, I've got to photograph him there. And there was even an arch in the wall where I could, it was just perfect. You couldn't have got a set designer to produce something like that. And so I knew it was going to be tricky to go against everything that the whole kind of way the shoot had been set up, which was that I was going to have to be shooting there. I was going to have to kind of throw that out and then start again and try and persuade them with the charm or belligerence or whatever to do my bidding. So what I did was, I knew it would work. I used a reflector, and I managed to persuade Armani's assistant to come outside to see the wall, and I took a picture of him with my digital camera, because it was shot on a digital camera, probably a 1DS Mark II. It was 2010, so it was 15 years ago. And I quickly took the card out, uploaded it to my laptop, and I showed Mr. Armani the result. And because he's a creative person, he could see I was onto something, and he agreed to go outside. So that's how I managed to get him outside. And then once I got him outside, I was able to sort of walk around and utilize a few different areas.
So he was quite easy to work with then?
Yeah, I think he kind of, well, we looked at the metadata, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I got a total of 24 minutes, which isn't a lot.
But it's not bad either.
Well, it's not bad, but it's not a lot if you're hoping to do something inside and out. So I took him outside. I got the money shot, and maybe that's the wrong expression. I got the shot that I wanted against this wall. Then I sort of utilized the fact that I'd got him outside to get something else that was a bit different. And then I got him inside, and I gave the magazine what they were expecting, which is a lit portrait, against black backdrop. Very, very, very simple and graphic.
Yeah.
And he had this wonderful kind of, as I said, it's like a sort of leatherback tortoise. He had this kind of leathery skin.
Yeah.
Sort of very brown.
A man who spent a lifetime in the sun.
Yeah, it was very textural, and it responded well to sort of simple lighting. So I had one softbox looking at the pictures. I had one softbox from the side, and then a sort of a bare head sort of coming from behind.
Yeah. Oh, for the headshots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great shots, and no one's ever seen them before.
No. I mean, that's the funny thing, is that I learned after I submitted my pictures, they loved the shoot, that journalists didn't really get anything. And I'm not surprised, because he wasn't kind of that loquacious. He was sort of, he's just Giorgio Armani. He's probably said everything he's wanted to say through his designing or what have you.
Yeah.
And so the article, they didn't feel that there was an article there. So
so none of the prints were ever...
No, not in the Sunday Times. I entered the picture in the picture editors, the picture of the year, a competition that was at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in the South Bank, and it won the best portrait prize. I think I won a bottle of whiskey and a trophy. Yeah, but it was portrait of the year for the Picture Editors Award or whatever it was that I'd entered it in. So it bore fruit, and then subsequently that picture has been used all over the place. And if
Yeah.
you Google image search that picture, it's been syndicated widely. So it's done me really well. The only thing that, looking back at the shoot, that I regret is not going over the multitude of other good pictures.
Yeah.
We were just looking at them, and there's a couple of pictures where I probably discounted them because it was maybe a bit chilly and he was wearing a sheer shirt and you could see his nipple. In any case, I didn't make a wider edit and give those pictures to Getty for syndication. And you know, I
Is
did
that something you might do now?
well, I definitely would do that now. I mean, I did myself out of.
There's no reason you can't now, especially at the time we're in.
No, that's true. That's true. I'll probably do an edit and give them to Getty now.
Yeah.
But that ship has probably sailed a little bit.
Yeah.
When I went to digital, I was very keen to show the magazine too many pictures. And what I should have done, and I do now, is when I do a shoot, I sort of work up to a sort of acceptable standard, maybe 20 images.
That's still quite a lot.
Yeah, I do that because now I can give those 20 images to be syndicated, and I'm happy with all of them. I was a bit lazy and I was busier back then. So what would happen is I would send a selection, and then the magazine would pick one or maybe two pictures that they were running, and I would only retouch those, and then I wouldn't get around to making a wider edit. And it's stupid because I'm just missing out on revenue.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. So overall, you liked him?
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like? He was
charming.
He gave me what I wanted, which is a fantastic picture that was in my portfolio that worked really well across 2 pages. It's a bit like the picture I took of Rosamund Pike, where she's lying on the floor. It's got plenty of
With
space.
the wires.
Yeah. It's got plenty of space that can be run across a double-page spread.
Yeah.
And when you're a magazine photographer, when you're working for magazines, when you want your pictures to be syndicated and appear in other magazines, it's great if they work well and create kind of memorable layouts.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. All right. I think that's good. Anything else you want to add?
Well, shout out to the Halkin Hotel. I mean, I have driven past that hotel subsequently, and I look out for the wall. And as far as I know, when I last drove past, trying to avoid going in the congestion charge. So, but I think the wall is still there. And I'm surprised it hasn't been used in other shoots.
Yeah, future pictures. Cool. All right. Thanks a lot. And if anyone's interested in a print of this,
yeah, I think it would be. This is one of my favourite pictures, so I think we should make it available in the shop. And in addition, A3 plus, I think it works really well. Not just the fact that it's Giorgio Armani; it's a really intriguing and powerful picture in its own right.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe there's an Armani store out there who might buy one.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot.